Are you okay? The tower just exploded.
I noticed.
Thank God you're all right.
Ra's al Ghul was the power behind Hugo Strange. This whole place was part of his plan.
You're kidding. Where's he now?
Let's just say he's going to need a trip to a Lazarus pit.
Hello? Is anyone there?
I'll get back to you. Something's come up.
Hello, Batman. I know you can hear me. I've not caught you at a bad time, have I? I was worried that you may have forgotten about little old me. Take a look at your girlfriend, who, as you can see, is in danger of having her pretty little brains splattered all over this camera.
Ignore him, beloved. Let him die.
Oh, how romantic. Only problem is, I've never felt better. And we both know you really can't ignore me. Can you? So listen, Batman. I'm putting on a little show for you. It's going to be a doozy, a real red carpet affair. You better hurry, though. If you take too long, the leading lady may be found dead in her dressing room.
Hey, what's up everyone? Nick here. Welcome back to the Arkham City New Game Plus walkthrough, and this is the end. So as always, I always have mixed feelings when it comes to the end of the walkthrough. On one end, I'm excited to have finished another walkthrough, to have, added more content to the channel, and on the other end, I'm sad because that means that, I'm done with Arkham City. I'm not going to have any new material. Maybe in the future I'll return to these games and do all the side quests and whatnot, but that's a big maybe. I'm really not sure about that. But anyway, let's get into it. So Joker has taken Talia hostage, and he's holding her at gunpoint in Monarch Theater. So some of you might know this, but Monarch Theater is the theater that Bruce Wayne's parents were killed outside of. So the story goes, as I'm sure you've seen in the movies or many of the... This is in something that's been told over and over again in the Batman lore. But long story short, Bruce's parents take him one night to an opera at the theater. And I don't even know if it's always called Monarch Theater. It's just in this game they call it Monarch Theater. The point is, they bring him to an opera, and they end up leaving early, and they leave out of the side door into what is called Crime Alley, which, as you can imagine, is an alley where a lot of crime takes place. And Bruce's parents are held at gunpoint. The person who has gone by... Typically, it's Joe Chill. That's the person's name that's doing it. But again, it's something that's changed throughout time, and it's usually different in different representations of the story. But basically, Joe Chill, he robs Bruce's parents. He takes Martha's pearl necklace, and then he, kind of out of fear, shoots Bruce Wayne and then shoots Martha. Or not Bruce Wayne. He shoots Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne, and so young Bruce Wayne is left kneeling, crying over his dead parents, and that is essentially when Batman is born. So yeah, if you can actually, there's a cool little thing. So you see, all we're doing right now is there's a few snipers patrolling the area, so we're just going to take them out systematically. It's actually very simple. But to the right of the theater is Crime Alley, and if you go inside Crime Alley, there's actually a spot where Bruce's parents were killed, and you can interact with that spot, and what he'll do is he'll kneel down and kind of like pay his respects, and there's actually an achievement for doing that. If you like pay your respects for a minute straight or something like that, you get an achievement. So I thought that was a really cool and touching achievement they threw in there. But anyway, this video is going to answer one of the biggest questions of the game, which deals with Joker. So we know that Joker's been sick. He's been he's infected with the Titan virus, and he's dying essentially. We've known that since the beginning of the game. However, there have been times where we've seen Joker, and he seems kind of healthy. And so it's like, what the hell is going on? How is he doing all of this stuff if he's on his deathbed? And so what's going to happen is we're going to go into the theater, and we are finally going to learn what the hell has been going on, and that will lead us into kind of our final boss fight of the game. And do take note that this video is a little longer. That's because even after the game ends, there's going to be the 4th and final Catwoman episode. So even when you think the game is over, just wait and there'll be some more gameplay.
What's keeping you? Get your cute little ass to the...
Hurry up and take your seat, Batman. The show's about to begin.
Let's just talk about this.
Now you want to talk. Too late, Batman. Give me the cure.
But you've already got the cure. Talia, no!
Problem solved.
You didn't need to.
Why? You would never do it. You left me no choice.
There's always a choice.
I had to save you. Harley Quinn stole it for him. I took it back. It's over.
Surprise!
Mr. J, you look perfect.
Ring, ring. So how do you keep a secret from the world's greatest detective? Well, do you know? You stick it right in front of him, right under his long, pointy nose, and wait.
Joker wants you to think he's sick. Then wait. Gotcha. You fell for the old fake Joker gang, Batman.
Talia!
I'm sorry, beloved. I didn't know.
Encore! More! Bravo!
It was never you.
Not always. Well, sometimes. Confusing, isn't it? I know I'd want to know just what the hell is going on if I were you. Let's just say, at times like these, it's important to keep up appearances. But first, if you would be so kind, hand over my cure. Ladies and gentlemen, for one night only, standing in for yours truly, and doing a damn fine job of it, I give you Clayface.
You weren't even supposed to be in here, Carl. Why sign up with Joker?
The role of a lifetime!
One last chance.
Oh, lighten up, bats. The final act's just...
Alright guys, so there you go. That's what's been going on. Clayface has been posing as Joker this entire time, leading us to see two different Jokers. The real Joker, who is actually on his deathbed, and the Clayface Joker, who is essentially unharmed. And so the Clayface boss fight is actually very simple. There's going to be 4 corners in this room that are loaded with explosives, and you have to get him to roll into the explosives like you saw me do right there. So all you're going to do is roll around and dodge his attacks, and then we have this weapon now called the freeze grenade, and you can throw it by double-clicking R2 or right trigger, if I remember correctly. And you're just going to keep spamming that. That's all you have to do here. Just keep spamming those frozen grenades. Do it in between rolls if you have to, but then you're going to want to always try to position yourself near one of the corners, because now you see he's going to roll at me. I'm going to wait, and then I'm going to roll out of the way, and boom, he rolls right into the explosives where I want him. Now just keep freezing, keep freezing, keep freezing, and then once his health gets all the way down, he'll actually freeze into place, and now you can go ahead and hack and slash at him. But I gotta say, I am a huge fan of this story's plot. The fact that they included Clayface in here, and the reason I really like that is because they could have taken the easy route. You know, everyone loves Joker. Joker is the go-to villain, but Clayface is one of those perfect villains that I mentioned at the beginning of the walkthrough that, you know, he's underrepresented. A lot of people that aren't comic book fans or maybe aren't movie fans, they probably don't know who Clayface is, and that's not necessarily their fault. It's just, you know, when they're making the Batman movies or whatever, they typically don't think, oh, let's do Clayface for whatever reason. Maybe it's because not enough people know him. Maybe it's because Clayface would be hard to animate. I don't know, but the point is Clayface is underused in the Batman universe. He is, however, used a lot in the comic books. In fact, one of my favorite running comic books right now is the new Detective Comics, which, if you don't know, is... it's a comic about Batman and his colleagues essentially teaming up and stopping crime in Gotham. And in this new Detective Comics, Clayface actually joins the team. So Batman offers Clayface a chance to redeem himself and, you know, help them with this team. And that's exactly what he does. And it's a very, very good story arc for him. So I was a huge fan when I saw that they included Clayface in the game. I thought that was a brilliant choice, and also it made sense. Like, the story genuinely makes sense. I thought it was a really good twist to throw in there, and I think it's one of the things that just makes Arkham City perhaps the best game in the franchise.
You're making me late for my spa treatment. I mean, it's not like you've got a girl to save anymore, is it? Oh, I'm sorry. Too soon? Would a change of scenery help ease the pain?
Alright, so we have a final form of this boss fight. As usual, it's not just one simple wave. Joker is going to explode the floor, and we are going to fall down into the Lazarus Pit area where we fought Solomon Grundy, or at least something very similar to it. Or not where we fought Grundy, sorry, where we fought Ra's al Ghul. So this is where the Lazarus Pit is, and now we have to finish off the fight. So the way this is going to work is Clayface is going to spawn these clay soldiers that will die in one hit, and you have a sword. So you're basically just going to hit one, jump, because these guys are pretty fast. So that's the best strategy here. Just hit one and jump over one, hit one and jump, hit one and jump. Very systematic, very easy, and then once in a while Clayface will actually pop up, and when he does that, you're going to want to start spamming those freeze grenades and get his health as low as you can. So you see in just one pop-up I was able to get his health to about 60%. So keep up that strategy, just slice, jump, and again I'm doing that because these guys are just really fast. Now he'll come up, I'm going to start spamming those freeze grenades. You're not going to have a lot of time. It is a little difficult to throw a lot of them with all of these clay soldiers fighting you, but it's one of those things that just happens slowly. So like every chance you get, just try to throw at least two, and it should go down in no time. So, you know, it's a little annoying, but that's just what you got to deal with. So he's out. I threw one. I threw two. Did I get two? Yes. Okay, so I got two right there. And you can see it's only been 3 pop-ups and his health is already at less than a quarter. So it's really not too difficult. And we're actually getting to the very end of the boss fight here, guys. So he's going to pop up one more time. I'm going to finish the job. Hopefully. Maybe not. Okay, yes, I am going to finish it here. He will freeze one more time. And now we are going to go to Hack and Slashville with our sword and finish off this fight. That's going to lead into what is usually the final cutscene of the game, but remember, there is going to be the 4th and final Catwoman episode after the cutscene, so the gameplay is not, in fact, over yet, so go ahead and stay tuned.
Get out of my way, bats! I've got a date with immortality! No! 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 Quick! The cure! What are you waiting for? Come on! I killed your girlfriend, poisoned Gotham in hell. It's not even breakfast. But so what? We all know you'll save me.
Every decision you've ever made ends with death and misery. People die. I stop you. You'll just break out and do it again.
Think of it as a running gag. No! Are you happy now?
Do you want to know something funny? Even after everything you've done, I would have saved you.
That actually is pretty funny.
All units coordinating.
What the?
What the hell happened in there? Batman! What happened?
Alright guys, so normally this was the end of the game, but as I said, they released the Catwoman DLCs, there's 4 episodes, and the 4th episode takes place at the end of the Batman story. So the gameplay's not over yet, even though that cutscene was traditionally what is the end of the game, and in fact you did see, if you were watching, you saw the trophy pop for beating the game on New Game Plus mode. So there's the little piece of proof, I guess, if there was ever any doubt. So, yeah, huge deal. Very big deal. Joker, he's dead. He did not get the cure, and the Titan virus killed him. And I love how I love Batman's words at the end there, where he says, even after everything you would have done, even after everything you've done, I still would have saved you. And Joker dies laughing with a smile on his face. And I thought it was a very intriguing scene, I guess is the best word I can use. And to see Batman carrying Joker out of the theater and to have Gordon saying, like, what happened? What happened? It was just very powerful. It was a very, very well done scene. And I'm not gonna talk too much about it because I don't want to ruin anything for when I do my Arkham Knight playthrough, because I know that in comic books there's a pretty strong tradition that comic book characters never stay dead. And so, you know, most of you watching this who haven't played the rest of the games, you're probably saying to yourself, oh, he's not really dead. He'll somehow come back to life here in, you know, Arkham Knight or whatever. And so I'm not going to even remark on that. I'm just going to say, if you want to know more, stay tuned to my channel, and I'll be putting out an Arkham Knight walkthrough whenever I get the time. I already have all the footage recorded. I just don't have the commentary recorded.
Thanks.
But yeah, so the point is, I'm not gonna touch too much on that. But I will say one thing. There is a DLC that I might do. It's like the one story-related DLC, well, besides Catwoman. It's a story-related DLC where you play as Robin, and it's called Harley's Revenge. And basically, Harley is grieving over the death of Joker. And who does she blame? Batman and Robin, of course. And believe it or not, Batman is kind of grieving over the death of Joker. So the DLC starts off with Robin, and he's talking to Oracle, who is Barbara Gordon. And they're talking about how Batman is still gone. He's still kind of off the grid. Like, he disappeared after Joker's death. And he's kind of torn, because this is explored a lot more in the comic books than it is in the game or in the movies. But Batman and Joker, they have a very, very complex relationship. Obviously, Batman does not like Joker, but there's this sense between them that one would not exist without the other. They're somehow tied together through fate or through pure chance or whatever you believe in. They are tied together, and that's something that is touched upon in Arkham Origins as well. But the point is, so when Joker dies, Batman feels just like something's missing in his life. And even though it's not a good thing that's missing, something's missing nonetheless. And I don't know, it's a very interesting and dynamic relationship that those two have. And so I might actually end up playing that DLC for fun. But then, of course, I'll be in this situation where if I play that DLC, then I'm going to want to play the other DLCs, like the Cold Heart from Arkham Origins with Mr. Freeze in it. I still have never actually played that DLC. And then I think there's a lot of DLC in Arkham Knight, and the problem is I just don't really want to buy those things. I despise buying DLCs most of the time.
Yeah, did you see all that gear he had with him?
Alright, so anyway, we're back at the museum, and what we're doing, in case you missed it, is Joker has all of our stuff. So Catwoman, she stole from the vault, but then she ended up dropping it because she went to go save Batman. And so now Two-Face, he basically stole everything, and Catwoman's here to get it back. And as you know, from the very beginning of the game, Catwoman and Two-Face are not on the best of terms, because Two-Face captured her at the beginning this whole game started off with her stealing those plans from Two-Face's vault, or on the phone, or however it was. But then Two-Face had her captive in the courthouse, and yeah, you've already seen all that. Anyway, we're going to enter the Gladiator Pit here, so you've recognized this room as when we were here as Batman. Now we're going to do the same thing as Catwoman. The hard part here is that Catwoman does not have the same move as Batman, that instant battering takedown. So there's no quick overpowered move to use here. Instead, what you're going to want to do is just build up that combo meter, and every chance you get, use an instant takedown. And even though it's only going to instant take down one guy is better than no guys. And you see right there, I didn't use it, and then I got hit, so I basically wasted a free takedown. But anyway, same basic strategies apply here. Just try to spread the fight out as much as you can, move in like a circular fashion. I'm getting hit a lot, and I think it's just because I'm not as good at fighting with Catwoman. She's a lot quicker than Batman, and I don't know, I've just never been able to fully adapt to her fighting style. Even though I've played these games so many times, I always have a harder time fighting as her. But anyway, you can see that it's not too different. You're just going to build up that combo meter. Again, I missed an instant takedown. I don't know what was going on with me. Maybe I was just tired. I was just dang tired. But anyway, guys, yeah, so we're pretty much at the end of the walkthrough here. You're going to fight all these guys, then we're going to go into another room, and we're going to have an interesting stealth encounter. And it's a Two-Face boss fight, but it's a very different boss fight. So I don't know. I'll try to walk you guys through it as best as possible. I feel like I'm running out of things to say at the very end of this for some reason. I've been doing so well up until now. Yeah, so for those of you who are curious, this walkthrough is going to be ending on September 27th, 2017. The next big game on my list is The Evil Within 2, which comes out on October 13th. So that means I have, let's see, starting on the 28th, I have 16 days until The Evil Within comes out. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do at that time. I do want to do something on the channel, but I'm not sure what. So my goal right now is to do the Evil Within DLCs. So I've already recorded my walkthrough for the Executioner, and I've recorded Chapter 1 of the Assignment, which is the first DLC of the game. So my goal is to do the entire DLC. There's 3 different DLCs. The problem I'm having right now is I just haven't had time to actually sit down and play. I haven't had time to sit down and actually record the walkthrough. I've been just incredibly busy. So my goal is to get up the DLC. If I don't have time for that, I might do a simple little Let's Play, maybe for Crash Bandicoot or something. I don't know yet. But the point is, I don't want to just sit there for 16 days without any new content coming out, because that can be no bueno. So we'll see how that goes. But at the end of the day, the reality of it is, I have to make my studies my priority. So, I don't foresee any problems because I have 2 tests next week, but I'm not really worried about them. And then I have fall break. So I don't really see any problems coming up with school, but if something were to come up where I had to choose between studying and making a video, I'm going to have to choose studying. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But just know those are my plans, to do the Evil Within DLCs and then to do maybe a little Let's Play. And then starting September 13th, I'm going to be doing my Evil Within 2 walkthrough. Now that's going to be interesting because I'm assuming it's going to be like the first game where you actually have to beat the whole game before you can unlock the hardest difficulty. So that means, usually when a game comes out, I start uploading my hardest difficulty walkthrough like at midnight, because what I do is I start the game on normal and then I also start a new file on hard. That way I can start uploading right away. But the way this is going to work is I'm going to have to spend probably the whole night beating the game on regular, and then I might even have to play it a second time just to really get good with the mechanics, assuming they're different than the Evil Within 1. If the mechanics in the Evil Within 2 are basically the same, then I'll be fine. But the point is, I don't know when I'm actually going to be able to start doing the hardest difficulty walkthrough. I also don't even know what the hardest difficulty is, because I've heard that it's not going to be a Kumu mode, but it's going to be something similar. So I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, enough about that for now. Let's get into the Catwoman boss fight. Or, I mean, the Two-Face boss fight. So there's going to be a few men patrolling the area. You're going to take out as many of them as you can. But the problem here is that they will actually infinitely respawn. So Two-Face is going to be up on that bridge. And what you need to do is you need to take him out either with stealth or straight up. But you need to confront him to cause some damage, and you're going to have to do that about 5 or 6 times. And he's going to start moving around and changing his approach once he discovers you. So if I wanted to right now, I could just go and hit him. The problem is there's too many men around, so even if he didn't see me, one of his men probably will. So what I'm doing is I'm taking out the guys that I can right now. So I've already taken down 3 guys. And then I'm going to take down another guy, and then I'll do my hit on Two-Face. But the problem is, like I said, the soldiers, they're going to infinitely respawn. So your thought here might be, oh, I'll just take out all the soldiers and then it will just be Two-Face and I, and that'll be easy. That's not the case, though. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So you'll take out a bunch of guys, you'll hit Two-Face, and then a bunch of other guys will spawn. Or it could even come that you take out a bunch of guys and then you haven't even hit Two-Face yet, and then already the new guys start spawning. So this is a hard one, I'll be honest. This is one of the harder fights in the game. Part of it has to do with the fact that you're playing as Catwoman. Part of the fact has to do with that you have to hit Two-Face so many times. It's very similar to the Mr. Freeze boss fight in the sense that you have to be basically in stealth the entire time. The thing that makes it harder is, like I said, you are playing as Catwoman. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw these at Two-Face. That will stun him. Now I'm going to jump and take down his henchman. And then hopefully so he was even able to get a shot off on me, but that was my fault. That's because I messed up. But now that his guy is done, I'm going to deliver my hit on Two-Face. I was able to deliver 2 hits, actually, so that's pretty good. And the reason I was able to do that again is because the guys were all taken care of. So now what I did is I threw those things at the guy that was coming towards me, and then I was able to get 3 hits in on Two-Face right there. So that's going to take some practice. It's pretty hard. So remember, what I did is I hit him twice. I turned around and threw the little spiky balls at the incoming henchman, and then I turned around and delivered a 3rd shot to Two-Face. And notice that I didn't do it perfectly. I still took some damage. So it's not a foolproof strategy, but it's a strategy. Anyway, now they don't know where I am. Two-Face has lost sight of me. So what am I going to do? I'm going to focus on taking out as many of the henchmen as I can, and then I'm just going to rinse and repeat and hopefully be done with it in only 2 confrontations. You want to try to get in as much damage as you can before he's able to get up and before more henchmen are able to come, because otherwise you're going to be here a long time and it's just going to get harder and harder. Alright, so I could jump on Two-Face right now. The problem is his henchman is kind of nearby. So as soon as I jump on Two-Face, that's going to cause some noise and the henchman's going to run over here. So now I'm going to go in, I'm going to do a stealth takedown. That way I at least buy myself a little more time. That will cause a little bit more damage. You can see how low he is. Now I'm going to run away and prep myself for the final blow. And after that, there'll be one last cutscene between her and Two-Face, and that, my friends, will be the end of Batman Arkham City. So I want to thank you guys for watching. I'm really glad you enjoyed this walkthrough. There was a lot more views on this than I was anticipating. There was a lot of interaction in the comments, which is always fantastic. Yeah, it was definitely more than I expected. And so that, to me, is a sign that the channel is growing in popularity, which is amazing. So anyway, guys, I'm going to jump up here. There's more henchmen in the area, but the thing is, as soon as you hurt Two-Face one more time, it will just end. You don't have to eliminate the rest of the henchmen. So go ahead and jump down on him, and that will be the end. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next walkthrough.
It's freaking gone. Oh. Huh? No!
Sorry, Harv. This really isn't your night, is it? Now tell me where you've hidden the rest of my stuff, or I'll even out the other side of your face.
I only took half. The rest I gave away. I win, bitch!
Enough with the twos already. It just keeps getting you into trouble. Just couldn't keep away, huh? Can't say I blame you.
There's still work to do here in Arkham City.
Good luck with that. Some enterprising individuals decided to help themselves to my things. I intend to get it all back.